Om yogis, and welcome to this practice with the Seahorse. Let's come to lie down in Shavasana. And as you lie down, move your buttocks so you create a connection of the large triangular bone at the base of your spine, your sacrum, to the ground. We'll be working a lot with the sacrum today, so get acquainted with that bone. It is a holy bone, and I believe the name sacrum is derived from a word meaning sacred. It's not the word sacred, but it's an ancient word meaning sacred, and it's kind of apt because this bone is actually full of holes, which are pathways for nerves, really. So lying down here, just get a sense of that bone, and get a sense of that bone being linked to the fluid realms, inner fluidity, the waters of the self. I like to imagine this bone as a pump. As we move throughout the day, it pumps cerebral spinal fluid up and around the brain, bathing the brain and the spinal nerves. And due to its rhythmic movements as we move, the sacrum generates flow. So the sacrum is associated with equilibrium and balance and flow and water and fluidity. So in Shavasana, here lying on the ground, just get your sacrum grounded. Sense the weight of your sacrum sinking downward. Feel any sensations in this area of your body. This area between your lower back and tailbone. This flat triangular river stone. This pump for cerebral spinal fluid. This bridge for the pathways of many nerves. And in Shavasana now, let's bend the knees. And set your feet hip width apart. And as you inhale, rock your pelvis towards your tailbone, arching the lower back, breathing into the belly. As you exhale, scoop the pelvis, pressing the low back into the floor, contract the lower belly. So exhale all the way into that lower belly. And then inhale, rocking the pelvis towards the tailbone, arching the lower back, just very gentle. Exhale, the low back comes towards the floor. So we're just starting with some gentle spinal undulations here. As you exhale and feel the lower belly contract and the lower back push into the ground, you might feel it's a seed movement really for Uddiyana Bandha. And just get as fluid here as you can. I say it all the time, but this movement is a small and mighty movement. Gorgeous. Inhale here, exhale, come back to center. And just make your way up to a comfortable seat now. And we're going to take a few rounds of Kapalabhati, or shining skull breath, from the sacrum. So visualize the pump of your belly. As you breathe out, the belly contracts. So there's the belly contracts and the breath is forcibly exhaled through the nose, and the inhale happens on its own. We're going to visualize the pump of the belly that is connecting to the sacrum here, bathing the nerves and the brain in prana-rich fluids. So let's start. Inhale into the belly, slight expansion of the belly as you inhale, and exhale. Keep going, and as you do this, feel that movement of the sacrum pumping those prana-rich fluids around the nerves and the brain and the spine as you take this round of Kapalabhati. On your next exhale, exhale all the way out, and then take a nice full inhalation and exhale here. Inhale now to about 70% of your lung capacity from your sacrum, and hold the breath. Just holding that energy in, and you can take your focus to your third eye center here. Exhale, release. And let's do another round of Kapalabhati. So in your own time, inhale into your belly, and short, sharp exhale out as the belly comes in. Keep going. Now really feel your sacrum here. Sacrum kind of pulls in and up in the same way that the belly does. You can imagine the sacrum and the belly moving closer together as you do this pumping breath. Exhale here. Take a nice deep inhale and a full exhalation. Let's inhale again to about 70% and hold the breath. And as you hold the breath, just visualize all of that nutrient-rich prana and fluid in the body, coating the nerves of the spine, coating the brain, assisted by this pump of the sacrum. Exhale when you're ready, and take a round of breath on your own. On your next inhalation, bring it into the belly, and we do one last round of Kapalabhati. Keep going, really feeling that sacrum pumping. Really feeling that sacrum move, and maybe even surprising yourself with that sensation of the sacrum in this exercise. It's not always what we feel. Quite often we feel the tummy and we forget the sacrum, the role of the sacrum in this. Exhale out when you're ready. Take a deep exhale, inhale in, exhale out again, then inhale to about 70%, and hold the breath in. Connecting to that third eye center here. It's the position really of, I suppose, it's very near to the pituitary gland. And there's these different connections that happen through the center line of the body. Pituitary gland at the front of the head connects to Mula Bandha, pelvic floor. Just feel that as you hold for a couple more seconds. And then exhale, release. Breathe normally and naturally. And we can still feel that connection of pituitary gland at the front of the brain, connecting to Mula Bandha, which is the pelvic floor underneath us. It's said that these two centers are associated with daytime rhythms, with the sun, the conscious mind, and the organization of hormones and bodily functions. And you can move the attention back now to the coccyx, the base of the tailbone. And you can make a connection from the coccyx to the back of the head, really, the top back of the head, the crown of the head, which is the seat of the pineal gland, roughly. You can feel your coccyx in the back of your head here. Just making that connection, just holding that in your awareness for a moment. And this is said to be associated with nighttime rhythms, with the moon and the subconscious mind. So there's this relationship really between the top and bottom. And this is what we want to explore today with the seahorse. Let's come into cat-cow, you guys. And as you move through your cat-cow, inhaling, opening the chest, and exhaling, rounding the spine, just feel that sacral pump. Feel that relationship, if you will, between the sacrum and the cranium, the top and the bottom. Feel how they kind of circle together and then away from each other, then back together as you take cat-cow. Beautiful. Then from here, let's press up and back to downward facing dog. And let the movement of your dog be similar to that undulating movement of cat-cow. Sway your hips, roll out your spine. Let your movements today be very fluid. Move yourself into the fluid realms with this practice. And let's take the downward facing dog now a little wider than we usually would. So separate your legs a little wider than normal and turn your toes ever so slightly in until you feel the sacrum, the root bones. I like this version of dog because it really does kind of like drop me into that feeling of my root, the root of the spine. And then bring your legs back together. Shift forward into downward facing dog, plank. Exhale, chaturanga. nice and fluid. Inhale, little cobra. And exhale back to dog. Let's bring the left foot forward. Just come into a low lunge position here. You can lift the hands up. Just feeling that connection of your sacrum to your cranium. And then press back to dog. Feeling that connection of your sacrum to your cranium. Left leg comes forward again. And this time let's press on up to a high lunge. So you're on the ball of your right foot. Your hips are squared. Your arms are reaching, your shoulders are dropping. And you can feel that connection of the sacrum and the cranium. Beautiful. Windmill the hands down. Come to plank. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, sacrum, cranium, cobra. Just feeling the connection. Exhale, undulate back to dog. The right leg is coming forward now. Come into a low lunge on the right side. Reach the arms high, drop the shoulders, just feeling that point and counterpoint of every time we stretch up, we drop something down. We balance the polarities of top and bottom. Press back to downward facing dog from here. And then bring the right foot through again. The high lunge, come onto the ball of the left foot as you press up. Feet are hip width apart. In this high lunge, feel your coccyx. And just in front of your coccyx, the coccygeal gland lies. And draw a line from your coccyx to the back of your brain, the back middle of your brain, to the pineal gland. And feel the points between these two areas lengthen. Come back to plank, keeping that awareness of these 2 points. Lower chaturanga. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Now lift your left leg up for a 3-legged dog. Open the hip wide if you like. Inhale here as you exhale. Bring that leg forward. Snake the leg across the body and then back on up. Opening the hip. And do that one more time. Shifting forward into plank position. Snaking the leg across the body and back again. 3-legged dog. Come back to downward facing dog. Let's bring the right leg up. Open the hip. Try to keep your arms nice and square. Just feel the relationship between the sacrum and the skull here. Be very fluid in both points. Nice shift forward to plank and snake the leg across the body. And back again when you're ready to three-legged dog. And do that one more time. Just feeling that water element inside of you. And then come back to downward facing dog. Shift forward into plank. From plank, exhale chaturanga. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Bring your left foot forward, you guys. Low lunge again. Let's come into Mula Bandha here, into your pelvic floor, gently lifting. And from Mula Bandha, let's come all the way up the front body, through the front spine, into the pituitary gland, the front middle brain, roughly. Just feeling that relationship. Keep that awareness, shift back to dog. Then bring the left foot forward again, but this time come into high lunge. Feeling that relationship between pituitary, middle of brain, to Mula Bandha, pelvic floor. Come back to dog. Shift forward to plank. Chaturanga brings you to the ground. Take cobra here. Feel the relationship between top and bottom parts. And then back to dog. Bring your right foot forward for a low lunge here. And this time, let's come into the coccygeal gland, just in front of the coccyx, and the pineal gland at the back middle head. We're playing with the polarities here. Push back to downward facing dog, you guys. Keep that awareness. Then bring your right foot through again when you're ready and come up for high lunge here. Feel that relationship along the back of the spine, the coccyx, to pineal gland. And then come back to plank. Slowly lower to the ground on your exhale. Inhale, opening, cobra. Exhale, pressing back, downward facing dog. You can feel how all of these movements are in fact pairs of opposites strung together in a beautiful pattern, a beautiful necklace, yoga mala. Let's bend both knees, look forward, inhale here, exhale front of mat. Inhale halfway. Exhale. Come into Uttanasana, forward fold. In forward fold, really feel your sacrum. We're shifting the pairs of opposites, so now the bottom is at the top, and the top, the brain, is at the bottom. From Uttanasana, separate your feet a little more, come down, Malasana, yogic squat. You can use a block if you need to, under your heels, use a blanket under your heels or sit on a block. In Malasana, come back into that relationship between Mulabandha and pituitary, organizing principle at the front of the brain. The daytime rhythms. The inhale here as you exhale, straighten out your legs. Come back into Uttanasana, forward fold. Feel the nighttime rhythms now of the coccygeal gland, just in front of the coccyx, and pineal gland, the middle back head, shifting between top and bottom, tail and head, left and right, day and night. And from Uttanasana, you can drop down now to we'll begin standing at the top of your mat. And as you stand here in mountain pose, just start to come into that relationship again between Mulabandha, pelvic floor, lifting to the very center of your pelvic floor, and the pituitary gland at the front center of your head. Roughly that sort of place. But just think about this line of energy running up the front of the spine. It connects to daytime rhythms, to the sun, to the conscious mind, to the organizing principle of the body here. And we're going to ground down through your left leg and lift your right leg up for tree. Just balancing here with the assistance of these 2 points, head and the base. You can lift your arms high, but keep your shoulders dropping down, feeling point and counterpoint of lightness and heaviness within this pose. Feeling both the inhalation deep and the exhalation deep and slow. Point and counterpoint of the inhale and the exhale. We work with the opposites equally, with equal amounts of love. And if we're going to fall in any direction, let's fall up, up, up as we root down through the lower body. One more inhale here. Exhale, release. Inhale, lift both your arms. Exhale, fold through. Inhale, halfway. Exhale back to plank. Chaturanga takes you to the ground. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Feel the stability of 2 hands, 2 feet onto the mat now. Become interested in this journey of stabilization as opposed to balancing on one leg. Pairs of opposites, you guys. Inhale, bend the knees. Exhale, forward, front of mat. Inhale, halfway. Exhale all the way in. And then inhale all the way up. Up and down we go. Let's take the left foot up now for tree on the other side. If you've done a different side to me, don't worry, just switch to the other side. And from here, let's come into the coccyx, the coccygeal gland, just in front of the coccyx. And from that place, deep in the coccyx, let that heavy now, but roll up, open up through your spine. And feel the top back of head, the crown of your head. Roughly the area of your pineal gland, connected to the subconscious mind, nighttime rhythms, and the moon. Feel everything below your waist heavy, and everything above your waist light and lifting. And feel how the relationship between top and bottom helps the balance. Inhale here. Exhale, release. Inhale, lift your arms. Exhale, fold through. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, chaturanga to the ground. Inhale, up dog or cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Breathing here. Let's bring the left foot forward. Come into high lunge. So when you're on the ball of your back foot and your hips are squared towards the front of your mat. Inhale. Get long through the body, bring the hands into prayer. Exhale. Let's twist in a high lunge so you're bringing your right elbow to the outside of your left leg if possible. And from here, feel the sacrum, feel the base of the spine, the base of the self. And let that twist start to unravel itself from the base. And then feel the natural positioning of the head when we follow the spiraling motion of that twist. Breathe deep into that. Inhale here, exhale, bring the arms to the mat, come back to plank. Take an inhale in plank. And exhale, lower to the ground, chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Bringing your right foot forward when you're ready. Come up into high lunge on the other side. Bringing your hands to prayer when you're ready. Inhale here. As you exhale, twist. Left elbow comes to outside of right leg. Strengthen through your back leg. Feel your sacrum and start to unravel yourself from this point all the way up to the counterpoint of the head. There's no craning here, there's no dryness here. It's just fluid, watery movement and full breath. Inhale here, exhale, unravel yourself, come back to the mat and meet me in plank. Take an inhale in plank. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, up dog or cobra. And exhaling, downward facing dog. Feeling that point and counterpoint of the sacrum and the cranium, working in balance with one another, in awareness of one another, top and bottom coming together. As inhale, look forward. Exhale, come to the front of your mat and kneel down, and you can roll your mat so you create some padding for your knees if you like. The feet are hip width apart, the toes all pointing towards the back of your mat. We're going to come into some camels here. But it doesn't have to be the full pose, especially if you haven't done part one. You probably won't be that warm for this. If you've done part one, you're well warmed up enough through doing all those lunges. We're going to inhale. Bring your hands onto your back, onto your hips. Inhale, lift your chest. And this might be as far as you go. As you exhale, you can drop back a little bit and just test it out. As you exhale, come back to center, and inhale, start to open your spine from here. So it may well be that your camel doesn't drop back today, and that's okay. Let this movement be in line with your own breath, so undulating camels, a little bit like the cat-cow at the start. We're thinking of the sacrum as a pump. We're looking at the relationship between the sacrum and the head. As we inhale, we're opening through the front of the spine, Mulabandha to pituitary gland, organizing principle, daytime rhythms. And as we exhale, if you want to drop back into full pose, let's come into nighttime rhythms, coccygeal gland, pineal gland back at the head. Just feeling that relationship. And you can stay in your camel for as long as you like, or you can keep coming out and coming back in today. Be very fluid, and if this isn't for you, you can just sit and feel those 2 points. Even sitting, you can feel those 2 points of the base and the top of the body. Lovely, and then when you're ready, finish up with your camel practice today. And let's come into plank. Downward facing dog, yeah. Stretch that out, and downward facing dog. Shift forward again to plank. Lower to the ground, chaturanga. Inhale, up dog or cobra. Exhale, downward facing. Bring the left foot forward now for low lunge. Just breathing and opening, feeling that point and counterpoint, the glands at the base of the body, the glands in the brain. Coming back to plank, exhale chaturanga to the ground when you're ready. Inhale, cobra, up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Right foot is coming forward for low lunge on the right side. Feeling point and counterpoint. Breathing here. Coming back to plank. Take a moment in plank. And on your next exhale, lower to the ground, chaturanga. Inhale, up dog or cobra. And exhale, downward facing dog. Lovely. Let's bring your left foot forward now, you guys. Come into pigeon pose on the left side. And just rest now in pigeon. You know, when we work with both polarities, up, down, sun, moon, left, right, inhale, exhale. When we work with both is the key word. Both polarities. It promotes balance. When we work with a male polarity, upward moving energy, the physical functioning flow, with the solar energies, with Shiva energy, everything lifts. And when we work with a female polarity, a non-physical emotional flow, the lunar energy, Shakti energy, we're working with the energy at the base of things. It's Shiva being at the top, the crown of the head, and Shakti being associated with the base of the spine. And the thing is, when we suppress one, we suppress both. From pigeon now, let's bring your back leg, which would be your right leg, forward, and bring it over your left leg for fire log pose. And notice where your head is in relation to your sacrum. Just notice this relationship. And through the awareness and observation of this relationship, see what balance there is to be had. Left, right, up, down. Shiva, Shakti, male, female, sun, moon. And see if you can walk the middle path in this pose. The middle path between what is enough and what is too much, what is too little, what is too much, And we're always looking to walk this middle path when we practice yoga. In your fire log pose, you can fold forward if that's available for your body. I kind of like to rock a little here, just very, very gently. Just feeling that point and counterpoint of the tail and the head. Coming back into relationship. Take an inhale here. As you exhale, come on out of that. Straighten out your legs. Pummel out your legs a little bit if you like. You can waggle your hips. You can pummel out your knees a little bit. And then inhale, go long through the body. And exhale, Paschimottanasana, forward fold. Point and counterpoint, inhalation and exhalation. Too much, too little. Find your middle ground, you guys. Walk the middle path. Let's inhale here. Exhale. Slowly come on up. Press yourself back into downward facing dog. And take a vinyasa if you want a vinyasa. Otherwise, from downward facing dog, or when you come back to downward facing dog, we're going to take the right foot forward for pigeon now on the other side. In your pigeon today, think about that male energy, the crown of the head, and that female energy at the base of the spine. Equally. You think of both. We sometimes become very kind of male orientated, and sometimes we become very female orientated. We can become one way or the other. But one must feed the other. Ignore one, you ignore both. Suppress one, suppress both. So in your pigeon, you might want to have an awareness of, where you're leaning towards too much male energy or too much female energy, and see if you can pull in a little bit of the opposite. Inhale here, exhale. Bring your left leg back around you, forward and around you, and bring your left leg to fire log on top of your right. Or the other way, if you've gone a different way. Find that middle ground, you guys. Use props if necessary to support you. Fold forward if you like, or you can just kind of gently undulate here, very gently. It's working with your body through very gentle movement, through very keen awareness, and through lots of breath. Imagine that your breath brings that water element into your hips a little more, giving you a little more fluidity, a little more flow here. And from here, inhale here, exhale. Gently unravel yourself as best you can, you guys. Come back into downward facing dog, stretch that out. And from downward facing dog, let's walk the hands back to Malasana, yogic squat. Feeling point and counterpoint. Feeling the coccygeal gland just in front of the coccyx, relating to the pineal gland, the crown of the head, the crown and the back of the head. And then stretch your arms forward to just come onto your fingertips and bring your arms forward, and in Malasana, fold forward to a comfortable stretch. So you're creating a little bit of leverage here as you drop the hips and reach the arms. Go nice and gentle there, you guys. From here, feel the point and counterpoint of Mula Bandha, pelvic floor, connecting to pituitary, more at the front of the head, front center of the head, just behind the third eye center, I think it is. This conscious aspect, the organizing aspect, daytime rhythms, the sun, this male aspect, if you like. And then from here, straighten out your legs, gently coming into forward fold, Uttanasana. Feeling coccygeal gland at the front of the coccyx, pineal gland, the back of the crown, nighttime rhythms, moon, sleeping, subconscious, shifting between male and female energies here. Inhale halfway, waking up through Mula Bandha and pituitary gland. Exhale all the way in, back to the female. Inhale all the way up, Mula Bandha, pituitary gland. Male aspect, raise the arms. The solar aspect, exhale, release. Great. Let's inhale now, the arms go up. Exhale, bow forward. Inhale halfway. Exhale, back to plank. Inhale here. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, up dog or cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Feeling point and counterpoint in the sun salutations. Arising, subsiding, arising, subsiding. Even being still, we can feel this in the breath. Inhale, bend the knees, look forward. Exhale, front of mat. Inhale, arise halfway. Exhale, subside. Inhale, arise all the way up. Exhale, lower the arms. Inhale, arise, arms lift. Exhale, subside. Inhale, halfway. And exhale, back to plank, chaturanga to the ground. Inhale, cobra, up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. You can feel this arising and subsiding energy as male and female energy. Let's inhale, bend the knees, look forward, ready yourself, male energy. Exhale, front of mat, fold in, introspect, female energy. Inhale all the way up, halfway up, Get ready yourself, male energy. Exhale, fall on in, female energy, introspect. Inhale, arise, male energy, outward moving. Exhale, lower your arms, female energy, still. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, introspect, fall in. Inhale, halfway, ready yourself. Exhale, introspect, go down to your mat. Inhale, hum, cobra, rising up, male energy. Exhale, downward facing dog, introspect, female energy. You get the idea that during a practice of yoga, we are shifting, we are dancing with the polarities inside of ourselves, inside of the asanas. To find balance, we work with both. One more time. To find balance, we work with both. Positive, negative, sun, moon, male, female, left, right, inhalation, exhalation. I could probably go on. To find balance, we work with both. Inhale here, bend the knees, ready yourself, male energy. Exhale, front of mat, folding in, female energy. Inhale, halfway, ready yourself. Exhale, fold in again. Inhale, all the way up. And exhale, release. Just standing at the top of your mat now, it's exploring all the polarities inside of you, the weight distribution, the breath, the left, the right, the top, the bottom. As you inhale, lift your arms. As you exhale, fold in. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, back to plank. Inhale in plank. Exhale, lower to the ground, chaturanga. Inhale, up dog or cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Drop onto your knees, take child's pose, you guys. Feeling now the shift in polarity between doing and being. Activity and relaxation. One must feed the other. In order to find balance, we must work with both. As part of the practice of yoga is we make ourselves spacious enough, big enough to hold it all. And to integrate it all and work with it all and bring everything into union, everything. We reject nothing. Okay, so we're going to do a meditation on the inner triangles of the body, and just find a comfortable seated position. And settle the weight of your bones onto your cushion or the floor just by exhaling a few times. Maybe even feeling sort of two sit bones and that triangle of the sacrum. Against the floor or the pillow. Once you find your seat, you find the weight of your seat, see if you can relax your abdomen and release any tension that might be held or stored in your diaphragm. So the breath becomes very full and easy. And the spine is straight. The top of the head is gently kind of floating towards the ceiling from that heaviness in the sit bones. So you're feeling that relationship between the top and bottom. And the chin might be slightly tucked in and slightly pulled back too, just to maintain the good integrity of your neck. So we're not overstretching the neck and we're not dropping into too big a arch in your neck, sort of poking the chin forward and dropping the head back. Now close your eyes and visualize an inverted triangle, an upside down triangle located within your abdomen. And it's located in such a way that the apex of the triangle is at the tip of your coccyx, the tip of your tailbone. And it's a big triangle. The base of your triangle is horizontally kind of lying the base of your ribs. You might even want to bring your hand to the base of your ribs, your front ribs. So sort of around where your diaphragm would lie. And just visualize this triangle now. So the tip of the triangle comes all the way down from the base of the ribs to the tailbone. Tip of the triangle, is at the tailbone, and the wide edges at the base of the ribs. Let's see if you can find that triangle. And during your exhalations, trace the path of your upside down triangle downward to the tip of your tailbone. And initiate your breath, your in-breath from the span of the upper two corners of your triangle, sort of located at the lower ribs. So we start the breath in there, upper two corners, so out to the sides, the left and the right. And then as we breathe out, we breathe right down to the tailbone. Let's do this a few times, just to establish that lower triangle. Beautiful. And then imagine, if you will, a second upright triangle overlaid sort of a little bit atop this first triangle. And the base of this triangle, which is the other way up, is level with your navel, so your belly button. So it overlaps just ever so slightly with the other one. You can bring your other hand or your same hand to your navel and just visualize the base of this triangle that is pointing upwards, and the apex of this triangle is located at the center of your heart. And with each inhalation, feel the expansion of all three sides of this upward pointing triangle. And at the very top of your inhalation, bring your awareness to the pinnacle of this upper triangle located at your heart. So at the very top of your inhalation, you arrive at your heart. And just repeat this a few times, just establishing this upper triangle inside the body. The inhalation comes from all three sides. And arrives at your heart. The top of the inhalation is at your heart. And this upward triangle is conveying prana vayu, the wind or the in-breath, whose home is in the heart. And the lower triangle is suggesting apana vayu, whose downward course is charted by the out-breath. And as you breathe in and you breathe into the apex of your heart, you can now breathe out to the tailbone. It's uniting that prana vayu and apana vayu in this meditation. Upward moving, downward moving. And we can kind of crystallize this unification by focusing the attention in the midpoint of these two interlocking triangles, which would be kind of midway between your navel and your lower ribs, your diaphragm. This is a bindu that relates to the fire center, or samana vayu, which is equalizing energy of the solar plexus that integrates and harmonizes the ascending and descending currents of the body. So focusing on that bindu midway between your navel and your diaphragm. This is the epicenter between these two opposing triangles. And we can imagine now the entire breath pattern initiating from this point, so it becomes the source for all pranic currents that flow through your body. You can stay here as long as you like. And you can just watch the currents of prana in your body in relation to these two triangles and in relation to this bindu in the fire center and the solar plexus, the powerhouse. This is said to be kind of our battery for prana, a battery for energy. So this meditation becomes very absorbing, but also revitalizes us, connects us back to our battery center, if you like. And brings like kind of every opposing force within us back to balance. So a few more breaths here. Or you can feel welcome to stay and meditate on this for as long as you wish to. If you're coming out, just gently release the meditation. Let the body have time to absorb and digest the work you've just done. So just take a few breaths, a few free breaths. Just feeling all that, the residue of that, letting that percolate through the system. Beautiful. And then when you're ready, gently open your eyes. Namaste.